Numbers. One picture, like this one below, is 1,000 words using just a mixture of 7 colors. Man invented languages in the form of pictures and words to describe his reality. Pictures, frozen patterns of matter that change quickly, leave little room for imagination of the reality they convey. Words, on the other hand, are slow-flowing descriptions of reality that could be stopped any time for focus and contemplation to read between the lines. Numbers, frozen pictures of imagination nature uses to bake its reality, existed long before man appeared in it. While reality is finite, numbers are infinite and allow man to go beyond reality to wherever his imagination leads him to discover unimaginable thoughts. Numbers are a group of 10 unique integers represented by symbols and names. The integer 0, also called naught, nil, O, zilch, and zip, and the integer 1 are like two sides of the same coin. You cannot have one without the other. When one dances and couples with another one, they become two. When one, a sharp point, finds a two, a wavy line, the line with a length splits into a surface with an area and is called 3. 3 sweeps through the sea of space like a net and captures a 1 like it was a fish, creating a 4. 4 has turned from an area into a volume and allows the 3 dimensions needed by atoms. 4 moves and bumps into 1 to form 5 needed by life. 5 allows 3-dimensional shapes to experience an extra dimension and get a life, like blooming flowers. When 1 and 5 couples, like a bee and a flower, magic called 6 happens. 6 is very much mistaken for sex. It is a number that holds lots of magic, like a jack-in-the-box, or like the cells of a honeycomb, or the 6 senses each of us have: to taste, smell, and feel, and to hear, see, and imagine. When a 6 is impregnated with a 1, a 7 comes up. 7 is the number used by musicians to create music and by artists to paint pictures, all with just a mixture of 7 notes and 7 colors. When 7 and a 1 meet, it is like an artist meeting his fans. Emotions spiral out of control and whirl like an 8. 8 is formed when a 5 and a 3 couple, and 3s form when 2s and 1s couple. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8 are the Fibonacci numbers used by nature to form spirals. 9 is formed when 3 3s meet and dance to form a 9. When 9 dances with all of the numbers, patterns are formed, like the ones you see below. The way the numbers terminate determine if it is a rational or irrational number. Rational numbers are numbers that terminate either in repeating zeros, repeating integers, or repeating numbers. They are extremely rare, forming a very small part of the infinity of numbers that can be imagined. Rational numbers can always be represented as a fraction, x over y, where x and y are rational numbers themselves. Examples of rational numbers are any integers, like 123,456,789,123, no matter how big the numbers are. Or fractions like 0.00000000001, no matter how small they are, as long as they terminate in repeating and never-ending zeros, like for 1 over 2, written 0.5000000 or 0.5 for short, or repeating integers like for 1 over 3, written 0.33333 or 0.3 underlined for short, or repeating numbers like for 1 over 7, written as 0.1428571428571428557, or as 0.142857 underlined for short. These fractions follow their own patterns. 1 over 7 has 6 cycling numbers. 1 over 17 has 16 cycling numbers. And 1 over 197 has 196 cycling numbers. When these fractions are multiplied by an integer, the repeating numbers after the decimal point rotate, like you see in the picture below. Irrational numbers make up by far most of the infinite numbers that can be imagined. They are numbers that cannot be represented by rational numbers or fractions. Irrational numbers do not terminate. They go on for infinity without repeating any pattern, making numbers that cannot be named. They can be only given symbols like pi, tied to circles, and e, tied to exponentials. Imaginary numbers are numbers imagined by mathematicians in their attempt to go beyond and improve on nature. It allows them to solve problems nature could not, and to go where nature has not. Complex numbers are numbers made up of rational, irrational, and imaginary numbers. Despite numbers being irrational and complex, we tag everything with them just like we name everything with words. We use numbers with words to date and time when things happen, to locate where they are, to describe how fast they go, how hot they are, and how much they cost. You can say anything with numbers, and numbers are very convincing, making it the most effective method used by dishonest people to conceal blatant lies. When we tag spoken words and moving pictures with numbers, we can transmit them much farther than we can ever hear and see. If angels could talk, they would talk in numbers. So if you want to listen to angels, just listen to statistics. Random numbers in the background noise highlight statistics like a white background highlights black letters. Everything is always possible if you wait an infinite amount of time for it. But with a finite physical world in a finite time frame, some things just don't happen by themselves without guidance. If you win the lottery next month, then you are just lucky. But if you win the lottery after you had dreamt the numbers to play the night before, then you are blessed. To know if you are blessed or not, you have to hear what the statistics tell you. 1 in a million is just a spike in the background noise. The odds of winning the top lottery prize can be about 1 in 100 million. That is like picking out the one and only marked grain of sand from a cigarette box 10 centimeters square and 1 centimeter high, filled with fine sand. Or like picking out the one and only drop of water in an oil-filled pool 10 meters wide, 10 meters deep, and 50 meters long. Most of us lead very regular, structured lives, and events in our lives are more predictable than chance. When something out of this world occurs, we dismiss it usually as a surprise. If it occurs too often, we regard it as luck. When unrelated happenings suddenly connect, then statistic is screaming at you 1,000,000,000,000 to 1. This is like picking out the one and only marked grain of sand from a 100-meter high cube filled with fine sand. Or like finding the one and only drop of water in an oil reservoir 1 kilometer square and 50 meters deep, pictured below. Things that are certain to happen only one time, like dying, are extremely rare events. We live most of our lives dying only in the very last moment. Everyone's time, averaging out to a few billion seconds, eventually expires. Death statistics give us a clear picture worth thousands of words and millions of numbers on how we are likely to die. This knowledge is vital if you want to beat the odds by changing your lifestyle and win some time extension. 1 in 2 will die of a form of cancer. 1 in 3 will die from heart disease, and 1 in 6 will die from stroke. Over your lifetime, in our modern gadget-filled world, 1 in 70 will die from accidents. For every 300 people who die from accidents, 10 will involve a car, 1 will involve crime, and 1 will involve a fall. So be careful how you drive, who you are with, and where you walk. In a city of 80,000, 1 will drown in water, and 1 will burn in fire. And in a city of 300,000, 1 will die laughing from choking. We live in a highly uncertain world which is full of surprises. The chances of getting killed by lightning are about 100 times greater than that of winning the big lottery prize. If you ever win the lottery, you can consider yourself extremely lucky. But if you get hit by lightning just after you have won the lottery, you can be certain that you have been blessed.